Based out of Asheville, North Carolina, Industry 9 has been at the forefront of building high engagement hubs since 2005. In 2019, we saw them move away from their 120-point engagement torch hubs to the insane 690-point engagement Hydra hubs. These hubs certainly led the pack when it came to high engagement, but there's no denying there were some reliability issues. Without constant upkeep and maintenance, we saw shorter bearing lives and broken axles, which aren't ideal. Industry 9 made running changes to the axle of the Hydra hub in 2022 to help remedy some of these issues, but it wasn't a perfect fix. Fast forward to 2025 and we are seeing the release of the new Hydra 2 hub. Industry 9 has set out to create a new hub, remedying some of these shorter bearing life and axle issues of the past. I'm gonna bring in our wheel building wizard, Joey, to help take a look at these new hubs and see what improvements i9 did make. So let's get into it. We've got our favorite mechanic, Joey, here. They build pretty much all the wheels here at the shop. You touch a lot of hubs, you rebuild a lot of hubs, you do all the fun stuff. So Hydra 2, it's here. They have a lot of new claims of fixing some of these previous issues that you may have run into. I am going to eventually task you with building these hubs into a wheel set that we're gonna pass around the shop and thrash and kind of get a long-term review of these hubs later on down the road. But what I really brought you in here to do is to break down some of the talking points that Industry 9 has sent us on the new Hydra 2 hubs. And I think the first one that we want to hit on is the axle.
Yeah, so kind of anyone who may have had a Hydra in the past couple of years, there's a good chance they broke their axle at some point. And there's various reasons why axles and hubs break. But the number one thing to address is just going to be the metal itself. But it really is just how everything engages inside of the hub. They've chosen different bearings so they can actually have more metal on the axle as well. It's pretty interesting stuff. It's something that I've had to deal with a lot. We get a lot of warranty claims for axles, have to strip down a hub, build it back together. So I'm pretty excited to see how that looks.
Okay, yeah. So that's another one. They're saying bigger bearings in the system. And I know with me previously, I had broken an axle in a Hydra hub. It broke right at where the bearing is at.
Right.
Larger bearings, why do you want larger bearings?
Well, you want larger bearings. Larger bearings typically have bigger balls, and those bigger balls can take more of the load from the abuse that you give that wheel. So you're able to spread that out on a larger surface. It's going to last a lot longer.
Okay, and that was also one of the issues with Hydra was bearings needed to be replaced more often.
Right, I mean, that is true. Like most mountain bikers, you were never really good at doing any upkeep on your hubs.
Terrible.
So if you kept your hubs in good shape, they were going to last a long time. But most mountain bikers throw them on their bike, they ride it for a season or two, they rinse it off, they go up to Whistler for a while without servicing those hubs. You really want to keep everything clean, keep everything adjusted, and if you have a bearing that is starting to seize, you want to replace that early. A lot of folks weren't replacing that soon enough, so instead of the hub spinning on a bearing, it was just a seized race that was spinning on the axle itself.
Wearing down that axle?
Wearing down that axle until it weakened and then it would snap.
Okay.
Most folks didn't even realize it was broken until they took their wheel out, maybe to replace a tire or replace a cassette or rotor, and then your free hub just falls off.
So to remedy kind of this contamination of bearings and requiring you to service them quite often and replace them, Industry 9 has introduced a bunch of new seals in these hubs.
So the seals are actually great. It looks like it's going to hold up a lot better, especially with our Pacific Northwest. Fall, winter, spring, and summer. It's quite wet out here. We're going to have better sealing on the hub shell itself. Previously, on the Hydra 1, there wasn't a seal on the hub shell. There's a thin seal that's on the Freehub body, but it wasn't really doing the work that we needed it to do. So i9 graciously added a seal to the hub shell and the Freehub body. So those things are going to work in conjunction to keep gunk out.
Sweet, and I think, if we pulled these end caps off of this built-up hub, I'm noticing seals on the Freehub body, which previously there wasn't really a seal.
It was really just the end cap that was holding on tight against there, hoping to keep everything out.
Seal the hub more, keep contaminants out of that.
Absolutely.
I get it. These are expensive products, you want to buy an expensive thing and not have to maintain it. So adding those extra seals will maybe buy you a little time.
A little extra time. So extra seals, they are going to lock in that grease, but if they do get moisture in there, they lock in that moisture.
Yep.
So just like with the old hub, you're gonna wanna maintain them.
Let's look at the Freehub bodies themselves. So they are claiming they have some larger pawl pockets where the pawls sit in the hub compared
Pawls
to the previous
themselves are
one.
a little bit larger as well. And that's pretty evident when you just look at it. And that's gonna help you with torque. The name of the game these days is torque. A couple other interesting things they got going on in there.
Yeah, we've got an extra tooth on those pawls.
Yeah.
So that's more torque.
Who doesn't want more teeth?
I don't know. I mean, I don't need more teeth, but also we had maybe some better bearing preload in the system that you were talking about to me earlier. So maybe explain that.
Yeah, so they actually kind of spread out their bearings a little bit more and a little bit differently in this Freehub body than on the standard Hydra. So there's going to be an outboard bearing in your Freehub body. There's a spacer in between the next bearing that's inboard on your body, and then another new, basically a spacer that helps those bearings simply preload the inner race and not contact each other directly. That is a failure point that we see in a lot of hub brands where they have two bearings pressing against each other. It's not just engaging the inner race, oftentimes the outer races engage as well. Some other hub manufacturers will have a washer in there, a thrush washer, to preload those bearings. Previously, i9 did not have that. This updated version is going to have that in there. That does seem to be solving an issue that they had previously.
Yeah, that bearing's just recessed into the Freehub body, whereas on this one, it wasn't, and it was just contacting the bearing inside the hub shell.
So oftentimes, the bearings may not have been fully preloaded.
Yep.
Which is bad.
Yeah, if you tighten your axle of your bike too much or you don't tighten it enough. So with this new system, they're definitely eliminating some of that. So longer bearing life, your bearings are rolling, you're probably not gonna wear out your axle more. So happy, definitely happy. Now the final thing, 690 points of engagement on the old Hydra.
That's as much as you can squeeze into a hub.
It's actually not. So with the new Hydra, they claim a 0.41 degree engagement angle, and the previous Hydra was 0.52 degree.
Can you do the quick maths in your head and figure that out?
No, I can't. So what I did in my office is I took this drive ring from the Hydra 2 and I actually counted it. The previous drive ring, Hydra 1, 115 teeth, 145 teeth on this. Still a 6-pawl hub, so you get 145 times 6, and that equals 870 points of engagement on the new Hydra hub.
Yeah.
That is the new Hydra 2 hub.
But that's not all about the new Hydra 2.
It's not?
No. I saw these scalloped
yes.
flanges. I'm guessing you thought exactly what I thought, right?
Totally.
Swedish guitar virtuoso, Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yes.
Right, of course. So everyone knows Yngwie Malmsteen, and he uses a scalloped fretboard. Do you know why he has a scalloped fretboard?
Because he likes seafood?
To shred faster. Now, i9 is not going to say that these hubs will help you shred faster, but today I will.
Okay.
Scalloped shreds faster.
All right, so Hydra 2.
Yeah.
So far, you think we're going to see some improvements?
I do think we're going to see some improvements. The hubs feel great in hand. I handle a lot of hubs, and every once in a while a new one comes through, and it might feel too lightweight or feel clunky. This thing feels refined. I hate to say it, but I'm excited to build these up. My hands could use a break, but I have a feeling we're going to be selling a lot of these.
Yeah, we're in that era of incremental improvements.
Yeah.
I think Industry 9 maybe did a little bit more than incremental, hopefully. You're going to have a set of wheels to build with these gold ones.
Sounds great.
We'll
Add
get
it to the
built up.
list.
We'll throw them throughout the shop next 6 months or so. see if we can thrash them and break some things.
Thrash them, bash them. Basically what we'll do is not do any maintenance on them and see how long they last.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna make everybody record their mileage and see how many miles and hours we can put on these hubs.
Sounds great.
So that's the new Hydra 2 hub. Joey, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
of course. We'll see you next time.
That's compliance right there. That's the name of the game this year, compliance. Compliance in your wheels. You can make wheels out of string now, so why not just not even tension your spokes and go right? Pretty sweet, right?